Believe it or not, this project started back in June of 2022, and I just recently completed it in the summer of 2025. And I would consider this a pretty simple project. All I am doing is pretty much repurposing, kind of upscaling my TV stand. So first up was to work on the new top. I'll throw a picture of what the old TV stand looked like. I mean, it was just, I don't know where we got it. Probably like Target or an IKEA. I'm not 100% sure, but I wanted to spruce it up a little bit. And so I have this piece of sugar gum, which is a species of eucalyptus. It is super hard and dense, and it had a nice big crack down the middle. So that little skinny piece to the right would kind of just flop in there. So I kind of had to attach it to the big piece to the left. And so mixing up some resin, tinted it with some black pigment, and that would kind of make it one solid piece again. Got a little bit of a sugar gum theme going on in my house. My dining room table and another piece of furniture, the top has a sugar gum top as well with the black resin accent, I guess you would call it. So I'm kind of matching that and going with that theme in the house. So once a good portion of the epoxy work was done and I felt comfortable running this through the planer, well, that's what I did. I cut it in half and then just made several passes through the planer, cleaning up and getting it nice and flat, cleaning up the epoxy. I was really starting to get excited about this top. I mean, just look at this. Couple passes through the planer and it is looking good. As I'm doing this voiceover, I'm realizing I'm calling it both epoxy and resin, and I know there are two different things, but you get the idea. Continuing to fill up the large voids and try to get this thing nice and solid so that way I could cut them into their final lengths and widths and glue it together.
So with most of my epoxy work done, I still got a little bit more to do. I want to get this thing laid out, cut, and glued together into the top. So the first step is to figure out which one is going to be my front edge. I was trying to find the straightest one. Some of these have cuts in them. So like there's a cut there. There's a cut way down there. This one doesn't have any cuts, but it has a big bow in it, as you can see. So I think this one is going to be my front edge. I'm going to have a little bit here of this cut edge in it, but I think what I'm going to do is I did a little bit of a test here. I think I'm going to sand that edge just so it's not so rough, but you still kind of get that live edge in it. So, I'm going to measure it. I got a mark here, cut that, and then cut a straight edge here and a straight edge here, and then glue this together, and then that will be the top. So I'm going to get going on that.
You saw me use the track saw to get two nice straight edges, and then I glued those together. Now, since the outside edges are not straight and I can't put my square up to that, I am using the center seam of the two pieces of wood as kind of my straight edge, so that way I could get the ends cut to length and have them be nice and square. Now, some of you are probably asking why the heck this project took so long to complete. From 2022 to 2025? Well, for me, client work comes first. I have a small woodworking business, so client work is priority. Obviously, I need to make money. If I had like a day or two in between client projects, I would work on this, but that was very rare. Then on the weekends, there's life, and you have two kids, and so there's all sorts of stuff to do. And I try not to do any woodworking on the weekends, so that way I don't get burnt out. Even though I really do enjoy it, I gotta pace myself. I want to do this for the long haul, even though I'm a little slow right now, and that's why I'm completing this YouTube video. So what you've been seeing me do is use my track saw to cut this top down to final size. And then it was time for everybody's favorite thing in the woodworking community, sanding. I just love it. So much fun. So here I'm using my 6-inch Surf Prep electric ray with 80 grit sandpaper and just trying to clean this thing up and get it nice and smooth.
So I got everything rough sanded to 80 grit. So now I have to go back and fill all of these little bubbles. So I gotta go clean all these out and fill them with some more epoxies. And then I hopefully should be done with the epoxy. But there's a bunch of little bubbles and stuff like that.
After that and sanding through all of the grits, it is my favorite part of the project, applying a finish. Now here I am using the General Finishes Armor Seal. It kind of gives it a little bit of an amber tone to it, which I don't mind, I kind of like it. but I freaking just love this sugar gum and the way it pops when that finish is applied. With the armor seal, I usually like to apply 3 or 4 coats. Now it was time to work on the base portion of this project. This is the old TV stand, as I mentioned before, and so I am removing the old top, which we're going to replace with that sugar gum top, but I want to paint this thing white. Giving all surfaces a good sand with 220 sandpaper just to scuff it up and get it ready for this primer. This is a primer I already had on hand. It was nice because it was tinted gray as well. And I usually like to do 2 coats of primer, sanding in between each one. To apply the paint, I'm going to be using my Apollo HVLP sprayer. I freaking love this thing. It has a nice digital readout so you can adjust the PSI. It has all the adjustments on the gun, and I've sprayed some pretty thick paints with this thing, and I didn't have to thin anything. I don't consider myself to be a painter. I am still learning, but it is nice to have the right tools to get the job done. It makes life a whole lot easier. Like I mentioned before, I like to do 2 coats of primer and then 2 coats of top coat, sanding in between each coat. If anybody notices that little run there on the top left-hand side. And then here we are, finally, after 3 years of working on this project, I am finally putting it together and then calling this thing done. Got the top lined up, got all the reveals the same, used the old screw holes and screwed the top down. Got the drawer faces on. I didn't spray the drawer boxes. We hardly ever use these drawers anyways, so it wasn't going to bug me, and I was fine with it. Well, here it is. A project that took way too long to do, but it was nice because I just finished it up in these past couple days, and now it's done. I don't have to sit there and stare at it like I got to finish this. But that's it for this one. I don't know when I'll see you next, but thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.